Hello, and welcome to another Angry's unit of the week. And today we're taking a look at the M2 90mm dual-purpose gun. The American 90mm anti-aircraft gun was introduced in 1938 to replace the older 3-inch heavy anti-aircraft guns used at the time. Simply, a larger caliber allowed larger velocity, allowing you to shoot higher flying aircraft. There'd be many variations of this gun, the original one being the M1 in the late 30s. The M1A1 model, introduced in 1940, introduced a spring-loaded rammer, allowing faster firing speeds of up to 20 rounds per minute. But in actual combat service during the initial stages of America's involvement in the Second World War, it ended up finding itself in some tank engagements, and the gun couldn't elevate low enough to effectively engage in these tank engagements. So, in 1942, the M2 model of the gun was introduced, allowing the gun to elevate lower to actually blow up some pesky Panzers. In-game, the M2 90mm is a 120-point dual-purpose gun, available exclusively to Task Force 45. And it has a single weapon. So unsurprisingly, the weapon is the M2 90mm, with 20 AP shells and 40 high explosive shells. The AP shells are pretty decent, 160mm of pen, 8 damage on penetration, 40% accuracy, a whopping 2km range, and a 12 rounds a minute. It's a pretty powerful gun. The high explosive shells are also pretty decent, but the bullet, or the anti-aircraft fire, has 3km range and a whopping 18 rounds a minute. Up down to the miscellaneous stats, it has no armor whatsoever, even though it has a pretty big gun shield. Anyway, it has 9 HP, good optics, good stealth, and heavy cargo space. So, in battle, the Americans finally have a heavy-purpose anti-aircraft gun, and compared to the golden standard of heavy-purpose anti-aircraft guns, the Flak 88, it's pretty much the same, as not that much of a difference. The main thing is the American gun has a slightly better rate of fire, but apart from that, you're really not getting much of a difference between either of these guns. And even though this may seem underwhelming, it's not in any stretch of the imagination, as the M2 90mm is extremely useful for the division it comes in, because Task Force 45 doesn't have a whole lot of good long-range AT. It's really just Shermans and a pretty decent anti-tank tab. So these 90mm can definitely help bolster your ground-based AT firepower. And you can afford to do it too, because the anti-aircraft tab for Task Force 45 is long and it's pretty deep, and you get 2 cards of these M2 90mm, so you can afford to take both cards and really only use them in the anti-tank role, and then use your other anti-aircraft weaponry as more dedicated AA weaponry. That's all I really have to say about it. It's not a crazy wonder weapon, it's pretty much what we've seen before in terms of weapon types, even though yes, it will blow up most tanks in a single hit. It is powerful, let me tell you. But it's quite fun to use because of the division it's brought in, because you have that limitation, and this fulfills that limitation in a pretty fun and engaging way. It's always enjoyable to use anti-aircraft weapon in the anti-tank role. I mean, look at the Wirbelwind, for example. But yeah, it's a good anti-tank, and oh yeah, it can also shoot down aircraft as well, I guess, if you want to. But I'd be really interested to see this thing put inside of a tank. Anyway, I'm going to leave it off there. This has been another Rangry's Unit of the Week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.